I would now like to welcome Liz Ward, CEO of Tourism Tribe. Tourism Tribe has been a valued partner of VTIC for many years now. As experts in the digital space, they've supported many of our members and tourism operators across Australia with their digital presence through their training and or hands-on support to drive real business results. It's been great working with the team at Tourism Tribe and seeing the real impact they had helping our members succeed in lifting the digital presence of Victoria's tourism businesses. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That's a really kind introduction. And I really do feel like Tourism Tribe and VTIC are a connected family. We've worked together so much. And to invite me along to share our current knowledge and some practical tips and the strategic thinking behind this very fast changing environment that we're marketing in, and the topic of AI is such a privilege. And I know that we are joined by a lot of very passionate people from the Victorian industry, both destination marketing organisations as well as tourism operators, who are very keen to stay up to date on these things. So it's my job today to do my level best to be able to bring some updated knowledge that we can all then discuss and keep moving forward with together, and hopefully inspire people if they haven't yet stepped into the world of using AI within their businesses or making their business more AI ready, that they feel a bit more confident to take that first step forward. So what I've prepared is a session that crosses these topics: how visitor discovery is changing from answers to agents, how AI understands destinations and businesses, what we can all be doing to optimize visibility, provided a bit of a hit list, particularly for tourism operators, though it's relevant for all in terms of destination marketing organisations as well, for that visibility optimization and what will work right now and what are the most important things you can do. And then I've dedicated a section towards the end for destination marketing organisations, regional tourism organisations and local government associations, because it is such an important area of or they're important organisations within the Victorian tourism ecosystem that are really kind of feeling their way at the moment and trying to understand these massive impacts because of AI. So I don't profess to be an expert across every aspect of AI, but what I am doing, and with my team, is we're like mice on a wheel in terms of working really, really hard to grab that next kernel of information that is relevant to our clients. And that's what our information is based on today, along with a whole lot of testing and development work we're doing ourselves to AI enable our own business, our training and consulting business that we have. We have to go through massive transformation as well. So not only the context is for the tourism industry, but we're also putting into play that AI enablement and AI tools. So we get to do a lot of testing and also doing development at the present time as well. And I expect we will keep doing that. So let's start with the first topic of how visitor discovery is changing, and let's call it from answers to agents. When I first got involved with tourism and technology, which was kind of the early 1990s, there was obviously massive change then with the introduction of using the internet for marketing. And then around the year 2000, we saw the introduction of online bookings and online travel agencies. And everything changed then in terms of the way the consumer was able to self-serve, to be able to do their research and planning, so to be able to become aware of what their options were that could meet their needs for their next holiday, do that research piece for the planning, to move to a point of making a decision, that consideration. And even though we had really interesting changes over the last 25 years in terms of things like online reviews, massive shift in the last 25 years, and the impact on businesses was incredible. I can remember standing on stage talking about this and people going, "This is intolerable. How dare the consumer have a public opinion about my business?" And now, of course, online reviews are just a part of doing business, aren't they? And then social media also injected quite a big challenge for the industry about its role and how it impacted on awareness and helped with that process of deciding where to book. But it really hasn't changed, and it was very much a journey that was a lot of tabs, a lot of different websites, on average up to 30 websites before people would make a decision on their holiday choices, particularly when it was a fairly significant spend that they were making. Now, everything has changed. In 2025 and moving through 2026, we are moving to what we would call a very conversational single session exercise for consumers. They are able to have a much more interactive conversation, speaking to different tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or their favorite AI app, to be able to have that chat conversation in very, casual language, speaking to it verbally if they want. They get a very personalized itinerary back. We're now seeing the arrival of intelligent agents that can actually do the booking for them, and the booking can be integrated, and that's coming. Not it's not super prevalent at the moment. A lot of these AI tools, you can't actually do the booking in them yet, but there is so much development happening in AI and travel. It's at 25% growth year on year in terms of the investment in AI technology. So we're seeing a much happier consumer able to get what they need much more quickly in a single session. And of course, the technology that sits in behind a lot of this is what, for those of you who aren't too familiar with AI yet and the lingo, you'll hear about LLMs, large language models. And so when ChatGPT hit our airways, and we got an, back in about 23 or so, 2023, we heard about this thing called ChatGPT, and everyone was jumping on and trying it. That was run with using a large language model and a chat, basically a chat bot. And a lot of people are still there, but what we're seeing is the consumer is being given what they need much more quickly by travel assistants, travel chatbots on websites, on apps, embedded within Instagram accounts, and the shortlisting is happening there. So they're not needing to go to websites as much. And there are so many of these different apps. I'm sure you've got your favorite. Maybe just use the chat to just name some of the AI chat tools that you have tried to be able to test for how you would plan a holiday. Have you tried Layla.ai, or have you tried GuideGeek or Gemini or ChatGPT? Just chat, and I think it'd be interesting for people to know the different tools that you've used. In 2025, the reports were that 60% of consumers had actually tried a chat for travel planning. Now, of course, with how Google search results have changed, and you've got the Google AI summary that is often presented at the top of the search results page now, nearly everybody, even though they don't know it, are using AI to be able to deliver back that travel planning information. I'll just check the chat there. Perplexity is Christy's a tool of choice. Fantastic. Thank you, Christy. Just a bit of a hands up there. If you can use your hand up in Zoom, is have you actually tried to do a test on travel planning using an AI tool? We'll see if I'm not sure, Michelle, maybe I'm not sure whether the setting is there actually, because I can't see any hands up. So maybe we haven't got that switched on. Sorry about that, guys. Just chat to us anyway. Keep the conversation going. Thanks, Michelle. All good. Now so besides being able to get the information back in a beautiful summary, a nice little itinerary, which is great, and most of you will have tried that, It's also the benefit of being able to get a booking done in that same session. And like I said, that's got a bit of a way to go, because when you use these tools, often you ask it to do a booking and it'll go, oh, I'm thinking about that, or go over to our website and you're on an OTA website and it's not exactly what you thought it might have been. So there's still advancements to come in that, but it is moving so quickly. But I wanted to share with you, there is a tool within Australia, and I've been mentoring the founder of this company because I am so impressed with what he's doing. Particularly, it's a tool for destination marketing organizations to be able to plug into their websites, which is Traveller AI, and it's advancing all the time. And this little demo, I'm just going to play this silent movie for you, which is a little demonstration of what is possible using a combination of AI tools to be able to create a travel itinerary planner that is very smart and goes well beyond the static itineraries that we are used to producing. So you can see here that there's a few questions asked at the beginning. It's then coming into sort of more about, well, what kind of vibe are you looking for? What are you really into? And all of this is customizable by the DMO according to their destination and their target markets and what they want to put forward. And the great thing about what it returns here, what I love about this product, is they don't try to jam 100 things into the itinerary. They put a bit of space into it, but it's using AI and logistics and APIs to be able to return the itinerary and to ensure that it is bookable in a single transaction. And that is groundbreaking to see that multi-operator itinerary in a single transaction. And even if they don't end up in book, you've got tremendous data, which is one of the great things coming out of AI, is that amazing data to be able to know what it is that people are interested in. So you can see this is on tasmania.com. It's also implemented on a couple of North Queensland sites as well. And this is the type of technology combining AI tools that we're going to see keep evolving and coming out, that is really going to enable our tourism presences online and our tourism websites. And it's not like this content needs to be brought in purely by one application interface. It is able to be sourced using an LLM to be able to pull in content that is going to then be curated and managed in terms of what the guardrails are around that by the DMO. So you can just see some things happening there in front of you. And also AI allows the changes to the itineraries. So that's just a bit of an idea for you of what is coming. I'll pause that now. You will get a copy of this recording, so you'd be able to go back and continue to watch that. But it's a really interesting journey to be on with this Australian developer to see what they're doing. But so I've mentioned the word we've talked about AI and I've mentioned agents, and 2026 is the year of the agents. And this, you might have heard about AI agents, and they go beyond. So some of you may have heard of, you may have used or created custom GPTs or gems in Gemini, and I'm sure Perplexity has its equivalent as well. Now, the thing with agents is the potential for them is to actually complete the task for you. And that is the difference. And there's certainly people who are using agents for rudimentary tasks. So consumers have taken off much more in the States, doing online shopping, ordering Uber Eats, basic things like that, where they basically send their ideal assistant off to do it for them. And the thing with travel is this is going to be the space that people move into, that consumers will, they won't, that diagram there is a little bit misleading because they won't need to touch their phone. They'll just talk the instruction in natural language, plan a 4-day trip to regional Victoria with kids, budget is $3,000. the search will happen. The AI agent will go out and do that search, getting to structured data sources that it can access, like Google business profiles, modern DMO websites, weather apps, review data. It will then return the itinerary and invite feedback from the user, and then it will go off and complete the booking. Now, that's from a consumer front end perspective, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the back end of agents and the opportunity for the industry in a moment. But watch this space. Like, I think 2026, you're going to hear a lot more about agents, and you're going to see them taking over a lot of the consumer activity that is happening over the next couple of years. The next little video I've got for you, and bear with me here. I want to show you what is possible. Many of you would have a ChatGPT account, and many of you, I expect, have a paid ChatGPT account. Now, if you go in and start a chat on ChatGPT, you can see how an agent works for a consumer. It is clunky right now in ChatGPT, and it is slow. But I'll just play this for you. So say I've got my question in there. I've come back with a lovely East Gippsland itinerary. I have turned on agent mode down here by putting in a backslash into the prompt box. And now I'm going to ask, because I'm in agent mode now, I asked it to book a particular product for me. So the Shearer's Cottage for me. I'd already given it some dates up ahead in the normal prompts. And what I did is in a moment, this really speeds up for you, just so that you can see what an agent does. So the good thing about going and playing with this is you actually can visualize what the agent is doing. You can see that it's going on to different websites, blog posts, etc. It goes to the different information, and you can sort of just visually track its movement. So it gives you an idea of the capability of agents. Like I said, it's a pretty rudimentary example, but it's something that you can all try and see if for your website, if you've got booking capability on your website, whether it can actually complete the booking. So you can see I've 10 times sped up the video here because you would have got bored to death if we'd stayed at that pace. But you can just see how it's going through and doing the processes that I would normally do manually. Physically, it is selecting the dates for me. It's got the number of guests because it already knew that. And then it would have gone on to attempt to do the booking, which I don't think it would have necessarily done successfully. And I didn't want to use my credit card to do that. But that's something that you can all try at home. So agent autonomy. Now, this is where, like I said, this is where the evolution of digital assistance is going. And it's about understanding the shift from automation to intelligent AI agents. Many of you may have played with automation in your business for marketing, like you may have set up, for example, automated email sequences. That's a great example. But we're really shifting beyond that. And I think even though this is largely about marketing and visibility, this webinar, I just wanted to let you know the context for in your business. So I've got 4 agent examples to talk about, which are on this slide. So let's move through them. I think the important message I want to get through to you here is that agents and this new technology is all about reducing your work for the output that you can have, particularly for the marketing and operational tasks that you have to do. So when we often feel overwhelmed, particularly as small businesses trying to wear many hats, this changes your world, and you are able to then really create agents that can do a lot of repetitive tasks for you and also move to really thinking tasks as well. So a really basic to start with to think of, and it's not really AI, it's more of an automation, is something like what we would call a chronological job, a cron job, where it might be, the example could be review management. It goes and checks your Google reviews once a day to see if you have any. And then it can also do things like a standard kind of post once a week. And you see all sorts of kind of AI technology, semi-automation in Canva, for example. You could set that up to be a regular post, pre-scheduling. So it's kind of, it's very helpful. The other thing when we get into it is automation. So we'd say, and this really isn't AI either, but say if you had an automation, you might be using something like Zapier, which you can easily instruct for when this happens, give me this message. So it could be in review management, send you an email notification when you get that review, and then you could have an automation beyond that to actually draft your response to it. So it's kind of medium effort still on your part. It's really not producing anything that is a final product that you can use. It's kind of just part of the way there that it's flagging and messaging you, but you still need to be very involved with executing the final action. The partial agent just moves us a little bit further forward, and you can imagine in your business here, the review management example, where it's actually going to really draft that response for you, using your brand voice, putting the guest name in it. So it really is a fully fledged draft for you to work with. And in a marketing sense, it could be that it's drafting 3 Instagram posts based on photos you took during the week with captions and hashtags. Now it's going to create drafts, and that's very, very helpful in businesses. And people are partially there with these sorts of things. But we can push them a little bit further with a drafting agent. The full agent is where we need to move to, and it's very possible, and we're working with these tools ourselves in our own business and building them ourselves. And this is where the full teammate, it's like having an amazing employee. They handle the thinking and the timing. It learns, it remembers, it chases goals you set for it. In review management, it might be that it noticed the last 3 reviews weren't so great and they might have mentioned something. It flags a maintenance issue, drafts the replies, nudges you if you haven't replied in 24 hours. And another example is on the marketing. It realizes that bookings are low for Tuesday. So it's reading your bookings. It can see your res system. So it proactively drafts a sales campaign for you, develops posts to go out. And it's so well trained by you, it can execute with very minimal effort on your part. So that's the space we're moving to in businesses. So you can imagine for the consumer, it's just going to be so easy for them to adopt agents to be able to do their travel planning. But let's bring our minds back to the decision process and the travel purchase journey. So first of all, thinking about discovery, that is now happening more upstream using AI. Like I said, anybody who's searching in Google for suggestions on where to go in the Mornington Peninsula, AI is going to be returning those results for them. And so it is going out and finding its best sources of information. And we'll talk shortly about how it does that and how it understands it. The validation for the consumer's decision as to whether they want to pursue those sets of recommendations or choose that list of products that was presented on that AI summary or that itinerary comes from everywhere else. So it comes from reviews and social media. It comes from the operator's website and the trust signals on there, and it comes from other websites that is giving trust signals. The trust itself to close the booking is further down the line, and that's definitely coming from information that the operator is offering or the online travel agency is offering that endorse that product through consumer reviews and sentiment gathered from social media, etc. So we've got a much flatter decision process now and certainly much quicker. If the information is not easily available to AI at the beginning of that process, then you're never going to get to that point of sending the consumer to, it's going to be very hard for the consumer to get to the operator website, because AI is just not going to recommend it, because it's too hard to find. The AI engines want things that are easy to access. So it needs really AI readable quality information with consumer trust signals combined to feel confident in recommending the user to go to the operator website. Otherwise, it's going to direct them over to the online travel agency website. So there's an imperative here for us in the industry to make sure, well, for us, it's to make sure our clients have got their information in the right kind of structure, and all those trust signals are looking great and healthy, so that AI can feel really confident. That ChatGPT AI search, that AI agent is feeling really confident about recommending them. We've seen over the last couple of years a real change in the key channels. So certainly the website is very, very important still at the moment, because it is the main repository for that structured content and the deep answers that AI is looking for. Google Business Profile is back in fashion more than it ever has been before, and particularly in a review sense, but also I'm going to tell you some things about Google Business Profile that I really want you to action. And then social media, when you might have been thinking last year, and I know I was certainly thinking this 12 months ago, is what is going to be the role of social media in AI, in a world of AI? Well, its role has shifted to validation and trust. We used to put so much emphasis on it, and we were fighting with Instagram and getting smacked around the face, because we could, we were dropping, we weren't getting the kind of growth, awareness signals were down, but now its role has become clearer in the AI environment. So let's just have a quick chat about Google Business Profiles, because this is really, really important to AI agents. So it is the gateway for the local recommendation. So it has incredible access to particularly anything Gemini driven, Google driven. You think about all the business profiles it has access to, that it is constantly updating that data. So it is used in a very key way by AI agents and AI search. And for you to ensure that you're making the most of that, one action I would love you to take today for your business is any Google Business Profiles you have. We want you to make sure that you have and optimize the description, and I'll talk about that in a moment in terms of the types of words that you want to be using. But you have reviewed certainly your categories, have a primary and have secondary service categories, because when you do that for your type of business, different things open up that you can then optimize. So that's really important to get that structured and rich information in there. And also the posts. So adding regular posts to your Google Business Profile about what's happening in the region, what's happening in your business. You may have a wonderful midweek offer on. It could be that you're really passionate about a certain thing that your business enables, certain experiences, talking about them, etc. So use the posts as well, and certainly look after your online reputation like you never have before. So when you're responding to those reviews, really answer back specifically, which is made very easy if you use a tool like ChatGPT to draft the reviews for you, but train it on your voice. Be specific, answering back, mentioning what the review says, and also because that's a great nudge for people who come and read. It's a great nudge for the AI engines to know this is what you're about. Give a little bit more information. And when you go out with your post, stay, or experience emails, give a little nudge in there as well. about the sorts of things they might like to review you on, like our incredible service, our great tour guides. You might want to talk about the food that we offered, etc. So you're sort of nudging the consumer as well to get specific. So Google Business Profile, top of your list, particularly for the tourism operators or visitor centres, to go and do that review and start loving it to death. Social media. It's not just about inspiration anymore. It was not that long ago that all the marketing advice was for tourism. It's about inspiring people, helping them in the dreaming phase. Well, now social media is all about being really, really real. So this word authentic is totally needing to be the base of your content. We do not want to see, the consumer doesn't want to see posts that look like ads. They want to see what really are the experiences that you enable in your business. So if you would have heard a lot about the term storytelling over the last, 5 to 10 years on social media. You definitely want to do that. And that storytelling is about the real experiences that you enable in your business, whether that's through a carousel of images that includes real images, not stock images, and that is or told through videos, so short videos, 15-second videos, reels, TikTok videos that really help to build that trust, because people come from that purchase journey and go, I'm going to jump over here and just check out what they're really about. And also you've got AI using data signals from your social media accounts to read as trust signals in that when they're returning the results. So let's talk a little bit more about how AI understands destinations and businesses. So there's a new visibility question. Our old mindset was, how do people find us with SEO, search engine optimization? That was how we thought. We've got to really write for people, and we've got to write for the way that they think. That's not completely untrue, but there's a more important question now that we need to bring to the start of the analysis of whether our website is visible or not, or our business is visible. And that new mindset is, why would AI recommend us? And it starts with agent legibility. So meaning that, how can it read us? Because if it can't do that, it hasn't got any chance of being able to recommend. You have to be visible. It has to be able to read you. Your website is key in this. And I still love a beautiful tourism website, and I don't think we've got an issue there. I think across Australia, across Victoria, the vast majority of tourism websites are a beautiful thing to experience. Great imagery, some video, really nice. Yes, we can always do more to make them better in the back end, but they're a great kind of brochure. The web developers, the templates, Wix, WordPress templates, they've all done a wonderful job for the industry. But your website is so much more than that now. It is now a data source. Think of it this way, for somebody else's assistant, for that digital assistant, for that AI agent. It is also a validation tool for the human traveler. So it performs a role. If it has the right information in it, it is going to help AI agents to be able to validate the information that they're about to return to the consumer to check it's accurate. It is also a teacher for the AI agents about your region. So it's able to, for the AI agents to keep learning about a region, your website is contributing to that. So your website's playing a really important role. One of the important things to do, and I'm sure, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, I'm sure many of you have already done this, is it's the ultimate test, isn't it? Is if you go onto something like Guide Geek. So if you go onto Instagram and look for guidegeek.ai, you can go to ChatGPT if you like, but maybe you want to try something different and ask it a relevant question to see whether your region will come up, and then maybe dig a little bit deeper, or it might suggest, would you like me to suggest some accommodation or tour or attraction options here or itinerary, and see if you can make your business come up. And that's a rudimentary kind of check just to see if the consumer's likely to see you in a relevant question that it asks in one of these platforms, and then try it across some other platforms. It's a really good test to do. So that is something I would also really like you to do if you haven't done so after this webinar. Now, how AI reads your destination. So just think of it like this. It is seeing the blueprint underneath your website. The human is seeing the amazing, beautiful imagery, and we still need to make it gorgeous and make it motivational. But the AI agent needs to be able to see the data underneath it. So we have to understand some of these concepts. Even if you're not particularly tech, it's great for you to understand what it's looking for. So we're really shifting from like what the human might feel as, you know, what we want to present as the vibe of the offering, you know, that you have. And don't confuse that with vibe coding. You might have heard the term vibe coding. And I think there's a little bit of crossover with that, because vibe coding basically means just talking in your language to the app to be able to develop the idea or the app or the website or the presentation or whatever that you are wanting to make using AI. But let's say it's about the feel. So we've got to shift from that. So humans love adjectives, AI loves entities. Entities being pieces of data. Sounds a bit boring, doesn't it? But it's thinking about, you may have had a beautiful copywriter who wrote for you about the magical, breathtaking things and the beautiful magical memories, and it's going to be really fulfilling for your family to do this, and it's a stunning sunset and it'll be unforgettable. That's all very nice, but what the agent needs is opening times, phone numbers, GPS coordinates, entry prices, dates, and really great detail about the pros and cons, or what to be careful of, or when's the best time to go, or always swim between the flags, or you know, these wineries are always open on a Sunday morning, but make sure you get there by 11 a.m. So if you're providing data about the region, about your business, it is going to prioritize your website, and and specifically different website pages, if it's got verifiable facts over fluffy marketing copy. Having said that, it's important to think about the fact that you kind of have to balance it, don't you? And you still want to write in a way that's appealing to your target market, but you can't not include the facts as well. So what can you do to optimize visibility? So you need to start writing with these specific facts. So yes, you might want to still sound super friendly and use some lovely adjectives that your target market relates to, but you need to put the detail in. So we can see here the example on the left, vague, subjective, example on the right, specific and verifiable. Why is it verifiable? Because it's actually got verifiable data in it. So AI can check that in other places. And it's high density in that it's rich. That little paragraph is quite rich in detail. So specific facts and your local knowledge are really key to building AI trust. And when you think about the tourism industry, and I think this is such an incredible opportunity for us in the industry, for you in the industry, is you've got the local knowledge. and you can incorporate that into the information that you are releasing out there to the wide world of AI search. Now, when you are thinking about your web pages, and you might be going, well, what do we actually have to do, Liz? What are you talking about on our website besides the content? When we talk about a structured website, one of the first things is a website schema. And some of you will have heard of that. If not, we've got a great blog post that accompanies this presentation, actually, that's got a whole lot of answers in it based on questions that we received in advance of this presentation. And we've also got plenty of other free resources on tourismtribe.com that talk about this and structuring your website and explain what a schema is. But if you think of it in layperson's term, it's the key to access your content. And it's the structure in the language that it's in the structure that the machines speak, that the LLMs speak. So adding a schema is really imperative now to your different web pages. And if you're like, I have no idea what she's talking about and what a schema is, you can actually check. If you know what an extension is to your browser, so there's a Chrome browser extension called SEO Pro. It's a Canadian extension software product that has got a little maple leaf as its symbol. You install that extension and then you can check your website, pages on your website, to see if you have a schema installed. But the other thing is structure. So every one of your pages, make sure you're using structure like heading tags 1 and 2 at a minimum. So they're not just controlling the font size, they're controlling the structure. Lists and tables, so the information is in a structured format, and a frequently asked questions section. I cannot emphasize enough right now how the AI searches are gobbling up frequently asked questions. This is a secret weapon because it is used on maps, like on Google Maps. When somebody does a voice search query using voice, it's going and really looking for FAQs, because these are kind of local, really warm questions. People who are either in region already or are on their way. Really useful on maps, for example, and also highly valued in other stages of the decision process as well. So that's a bit of a takeaway for you of the work that you need to start doing on your website. So why should AI trust you? Say you've got that information in there. What are the types of content that make it trust you? Now you'll see here I've underlined this, and it's just a little concept for you to understand, is AI optimization for visibility is actually built on what is actually built on SEO kind of signals, which say 3 pillars of machine trust down here, but you can see EEAT, which is Google's framework for building trust and returning content in search results. So the 2 E's are experience, expertise, so your lived experience in the topic, your expertise, what knowledge and skills do you have in it, your authority on this topic, your demonstrated authority when you write about it, and the trust signals. So it's kind of built on these things. And that first E I mentioned, experience, lived experience, that's another secret weapon for you. If you are writing a blog post or talking about writing your FA, frequently asked questions, or doing any writing at all for your website, how can you include in that content that is based on your lived experience in the destination or the type of business that you're in, or tour guiding or food and wine, whatever it is, your niche, and also including the lived experience of your guests. So, but these 3 things, these are the 3 pillars of AI machine trust. Freshness signals. So we've been banging on for years about the importance of keeping your website fresh and your social media accounts fresh, your Google business profile fresh. Fresh is the new vogue for your marketing. So go through, and you could use an agent to do this for you. We could share our agent with you to do this for you that we've developed, where you could run over your website and find all of the relevant content or things that need to be ditched, and update the publish dates on those pages. Update the content and update the publish date. So even if you don't see the publish date on a page on your website, it is in the back end at a minimum. So the machines are reading that. Topical authority, so depth matters. A site with 20 detailed pages on hiking trails is going to outrank one with one generic page on activities. So this depth of area of expertise, showing your authority on the topic, including some lived experience, is super important. And then the trust piece really comes in very strongly with real reviews. So that's absolutely vital for verification. AI cross-references your website claims with Google reviews, TripAdvisor, wherever it can access. So I don't know whether booking.com has opened up its reviews. I mean, they're published online. I'd imagine it's pretty easy for the AI to get to it, to access it, to verify your claims. AI gets it wrong sometimes, doesn't it? And you may have heard of the term AI hallucination. Sometimes we can't blame the AI though. I mean, it's not necessarily, sometimes AI does get a bit carried away, like you might be in ChatGPT and getting it to review a document for you and suggest improvements, and it goes rogue on you and comes back and puts stuff in it that you go, why? And you ask it, why did you do that? Oh, I was just suggesting best practice for you, that it would be good to put that in there. And that's just going rogue. That's not necessarily a hallucination either. And then sometimes, and I often have clients say this to us, but it doesn't return the right results. It's saying that it's recommending to go to this place and it's no longer open, or that's not really a hallucination either. What's happening here is that it is finding a lot of information that is verifiable, that says that that business or that walking trail is still open or whatever. And a great example of that with our lived experience is Fabi, my business partner, who lives in Agnes Water, 6 hours north of Brisbane. And there's a lovely little short walk there called the Paperbark Walk. And for 3 years, ChatGPT was returning it in itineraries, suggested itineraries, when it was closed. It took quite a while. And you know that you talk about training, go back and tell ChatGPT it's closed, or keep telling it. That can take a long, long time. What it needed was verifiable data. So when somebody who could access the Google business profile from a management perspective was able to get in there and really update that to say it was closed, and on some websites that the Visitor Information Centre controlled, some web pages, and some listings, they were able to get in there and on the web page actually put in the title of the web page, closed. That's when we saw it turn around. So it needed chunky data that it could read to confirm that. So old data will equal AI hallucinations, and agents need live data, which is why that freshness is so important. We often get asked the question, can I use AI to write content? Yes, of course you can. So if you're wanting to write a blog post, for example, go for it, but it needs to be grounded in really good knowledge and content. And the formula to follow is to always inject 3 verifiable facts, add 1 local tip, and attribute the sources. So according to recent visitor feedback, or this review from our guest Liz said blah. So give it that content, which is going to make it so much more verifiable and therefore of interest to the AI agents. So your AI visibility action plan, I've got here for you. Firstly, ensure that your NAP, your name, address, phone, are consistent across your listings and your website. Don't go making up some random marketing lovely name on your Google business profile. If it doesn't match the name of your business, not only will you not do so well in Google local searches and AI searches, you may also get audited by Google and you can't get in and manage your account anymore. So this is like your citations have to be consistent. Consistency really matters. Update your Google business profile as I discussed. Add a frequently asked questions page. Update your dates, the last modified dates on blog posts and web pages, which means you are really visiting them and checking them, but you can use an AI agent to help you do that. Remember, don't think the old school way of doing tasks anymore. Think, how could an AI agent help me do this? Be specific. Replace nearby with, for example, 500 meters walk, or affordable with the actual entry price, and ditch the fluff. Delete generic adjectives and replace them with facts. Now, I'd just very briefly like to touch on something for the DMOs who are listening in, and that is, I've been thinking a lot about this. Our team's been working on tools for DMOs. We're really keen to find some DMO partners to test them with us, but thinking about the model, what is the leadership and AI model for a DMO? Why is this important? It's super important because we're seeing that website traffic to destination marketing organizations is definitely being compromised by the AI summaries, returned itinerary results. The need for people to click, generally speaking, has reduced. There's numbers being reported across different industries, particularly the publishing industry. Yay. The death of a lot of clickbait. I'm very excited about that. 70% of people aren't clicking to a website. They're satisfied with the AI summary. And we're seeing that some of the clients we're working with who are DMOs, they're seeing 20 to 30% reduction in website visitation because people are getting what they need in that AI result. However, it doesn't mean that the DMO's influence is any less, because they are the heart and soul of the destination in terms of the information that they provide. And I think that DMOs and operators, there's two separate roles in the decision process for the consumer. The DMO context, they provide the context, they're the regional source of truth, they can provide planning, logic, and support to really make that across region or from region to region trip happen, or it could be whole of state, and they're the regional brand identity. For operators, they provide product clarity, live availability, and booking confidence. So the simple reframe for DMOs is that AI is bypassing your directory, your website that had all the listings on it, and to a certain extent, the pre-written itineraries. It might be using them, but it's not needing to send people there, but it is craving your authority. It wants that content. So I see this not as a threat, but I do see it as an adaptation that has to happen. The change in DMO's roles is inevitable, but I think the opportunity for AI leadership is there for the taking for DMOs. And we've put together a model that we think is pretty sensible, and it's based on working with our DMOs and doing AI website reviews for them and talking about how they take a lead in this space. And the first one is around a transformed website and providing all those customer needs and AI search needs that they're going to need. So it definitely needs that it doesn't mean you need to build a new website. It just needs to address the requirements of the modern traveler and the AI agent. It's to be the conductor of the source of truth. You are the most reliable local source of truth. Even if the AI agents are going in and searching at a state level, a regional level, a local level, you, in wherever you sit, are going to have the content infrastructure that knows how to call. You'll have agents that know how to call other content, and to be able to keep your small language model, this very hyper local knowledge base, full of the right fresh content, and providing that motivation and trust at every touch point that the DMO is coming into, whether it's a WhatsApp chat, whether it's a chat on their website, whether it's on their website. So it's that multi-channel and really knowing what the consumer needs. Efficiency and monitoring. Every DMO has the same problem: overworked. I'm not going to say underpaid, under-resourced, where they're so passionate about the region and the job that they've got to do, but they just don't ever have enough staff to do everything they want to do. There is no excuse for that now. Your team of agents that you can create, we can create for you, we have created them for you to try. They can do this work for you. You still control, because remember, you are the conductor, but all of this, things like drift monitoring. So we've built the tool to do this, dedicated monitoring of what AI models like ChatGPT and Gemini are saying about the region to ensure accuracy. Continuous content curation, so going out and continually harvesting from operators' websites, Google business profiles, all the things that are current and fresh. So all of that is agent driven. So you have a lot more staff, but they don't get sick and you don't have to pay them. Yeah, you've got to pay for the tokens they use, but it is still a very inexpensive solution finally. And then leading in governance, of course, around strategic AI leadership for your region, for your destination, really demonstrating that high efficiency content generation in a really quality way, operator education and support, and clearly like that AI ethics in really clearly communicating how you're using AI and bringing the industry along with you. So key takeaways from this presentation, and then we'll open up for some questions. AI is now the front door to discovery. Most travellers aren't going to browse first. AI summaries, recommends shortlist, etc. Agent revolution is happening very quickly. So get ready. Specific, verifiable content builds trust. Specific, verifiable data builds trust and booking confidence. Review Google business profile and keep it fresh. Reviews are even more important than before, and social media needs to be really real now and support AI discovery and decision making. That's its role, to support the discovery and provide that verification and trust signals. For your website structure is your new search engine optimization. Scheme of frequently asked questions, lists, tables, clear headings help AI understand. Clean data over pretty copy. Right for robots first, humans second. Use prices, distances, hours. Operators prove it, DMOs enable it. Operators provide clarity and live product detail. DMOs become the region's source of truth and AI conductor, and authority beats directories. Remember that in this new marketplace, that the easiest destinations and businesses to understand will be the easiest to recommend and easiest to book. So as the agents are doing their work, that's what they're looking for. Then they're going to ignore the barriers because it's going to cost them too much to break through and do that research. They want the content that's easy to get to and all those great trust signals. So if you're ready to be an AI-ready destination or business, we would love to do this together with you. And like I said, we've got some great basic tools now for operators. We're releasing them all the time. And just keep watching that space because they're updating all the time. And DMOs, there's a whole suite of different agents who all got beautiful names that we will be releasing over the next week. And Michelle, I'll be at the VTIC Summit next Wednesday, and I will have them there for people to have a look at and have a play with, which will be great.
Well, thank you, Liz. That presentation was excellent. And yes, you will be at the VTIC Summit next week. So anyone who's online, who's attending, go and have a chat with Liz. Liz, from an operator's point of view, DMO is a key part of the success, isn't it? It's their investment and their dedication. So from the operator in the region, it would be, I presume, look at their operation, but also really advocate and ensure the DMO is looking after their interests and use and up to date with the latest technology.
Oh, definitely. I think they work hand in hand, but I can see
Oh,
for me, I can see the clear roles. The DMO is going to provide that, think about it this way, the operator can't do all of that content. We don't want every operator putting weather updates on their website or tide times if they're at Point Lonsdale or whatever. Yes, they will write with some good factual information that supports the experiences that they enable, but it's got to be relevant to what they do and what they enable. Otherwise, it's just the AI agents will be like, I don't want to, why would I get that from there? Whereas the DMO, it needs to be that source of truth. So they have been the source of brand and beautiful motivational content, great itineraries, sometimes publishing ATDW listings. That's already gobbled up by all the AI, the large learning models now. They want fresh, new, detailed. There's nothing new from them to learn from that. So, yeah, the DMOs and the operators have got work to do, but they can do it in sync. And I think the DMO's got a wonderful opportunity to kind of lead and coordinate.
yes, thank you for sharing that. Just while the webinar was going, I just quickly tried to do an itinerary for my next holiday in
How did
regional
you go?
Victoria. And I think the destination can do a bit of work because I found nothing. So that comes back to, yeah, the investment. So there's a really big opportunity there.
Well, I
Lucky
think
I know the region.
yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think that there's never been a better time to put ourselves in the shoes of our consumers and see what they're seeing. And just I know it's hard. Some operators are like, I'm not tech savvy at all. This it just means gobbledygook to me. But that's what we're here for too, is to translate that and not talk at the operator in tech speak, but to, break it down for them and show them. And in fact, sometimes showing operators in a live situation how to go and create a simple marketing plan using a custom GPT in Chat GPT, like a pre-programmed one that we've got available to them all, and they generate that in their social media plan, which is a wonderful draft for them. You just see all the lights go on and they're like, oh, this is what the capability is. And that's only the very beginning of it. So sometimes they've just got to have their hand held to try it. And that's a great role for a DMO as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. Now we have a few questions.
Hmm.
This is from Jessica from Greater Shepparton City Council. How do we correct information that the AI search may bring up that contains wrong information?
Yeah, I think that paperbark walk is a great example of that, where it took a while to do. But I think also part of that problem was that at that stage, ChatGPT had only indexed content up to September 22 or 21 at the time or something. And so a lot of people, when you're using the free version of something like ChatGPT, you're not getting the freshest, most reliable content. So that's an issue, which is why Google's doing so well now with Gemini, and it's that. So the first thing to do would be to get Gemini to do a search for all of the pages, all the web pages and sources of that information, so that you can then, if you're in control of any of those, you can go and update them. Or you can reach out to people in your destination who might be publishing it. It could be an ATDW listing that needs to say that it's closed. Like, don't delete the ATDW listing, say it's closed while it's still there. And very importantly, if this information has a Google business profile home, and you might want to do Bing spaces as well if it's a business. So if it is a business, the manager of that needs to go in and update that. So, and in the title of the web pages, put up there that it's if there is something significant, like it's closed or updated or something, put it in the title of the web page, because that is read by the AI search engines. So find the sources, use AI search to do that, and then tackle them to be able to get it updated, because it's pulling wrong information because the wrong information is there.
Right, thank you. Now, this one's a good question from Billy from Baggus Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few questions in this one question. How does AI affect Google Map listings? Currently, AI answers people's questions with what it thinks people are looking for. So, for example, if you're in a regional town and ask a question about where to eat, is it more likely to offer options for the bakery, pub, or cafe? Because that's what most people going to the regional town are looking for. As I'm a niche South Indian cafe and restaurant, this is proving to be a big problem for us. Do you have any recommendations to help us with this?
Thank you so much, Michelle. Oh, God, I love this question. This is awesome. And this is such a real life situation, right? And I really appreciate, Billy, if you're listening, I really appreciate that, sharing that. So, for a start, like the first part of the question, how is it doing it? What is it returning? It is it is reading what information it can. So basically, what I said before, it is not, when it's returning. Like if you feel like, or you're observing that it's more often ranking, for example, the bakery ahead of your business or instead of your business, that would be based on what we call intent signals that are sitting inside the information, but it's also based on behavior. So, what it's saying is when consumers search for, say, in Google Maps or in a Google's voice search or wherever, a good place to eat in, where's he located? I think is it in the, anyway, wherever it is in the location, um, it's based on behavior. So a lot of people may have selected the bakery or found the bakery and then went and looked at it. So it's based on behavior. So it's kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy that it keeps happening. So my advice, Billy, is to look at some of the best practice things that I tried to communicate today. But I would take a step back from it and I'd say, who are you trying to service, and what are the things that set you apart in your town or region from the bakery and other places? If it's a lovely Indian restaurant, it could be that you offer some really good vegetarian dishes in your particular cuisine. But think about your target market. So you're thinking, I'd imagine, all visitors coming into town, not necessarily people who are looking for that specific Indian cuisine, but they are looking for a great place to eat. And it could be that they want vegetarian food or try something different. I want something different to the standard Aussie bakery fare. So think about how you're connecting with those particular audiences, then go and review your Google business profile and write those things. So you could have a great vegetarian and vegan options. You might have the freshest, I don't know what, seafood or whatever on your menu. And you could be, a great alternative when you visit the town is to come here rather than going, with a standard pub meal. Come down and try this. So I'd be going with that to sort of pick on those intents. I would then look at the structured data of your website. Go and check your website. If you don't already know, use the SEO Pro Chrome extension or talk to your web developer. Does it have a schema? If you haven't got a schema on that website, really hard for AI to search it. Is your menu in a text format or a PDF? I'm sorry, but you're going to have to write it or at least highlight sections of it in a text format, because otherwise a PDF is just too hard to read for the AI engine. So that'd be a couple of things that I'd be doing. I'd also be thinking about reviews. I'm sure you've got great reviews. When you ask your customers for reviews, like I was saying before, give them a nudge. Like, say, you might like to comment on our vegetarian dishes or this or that, things that match back to that intent of which guests, what type of guests and what they're looking for, so that your reviews start to align as well. So that'd be some things I'd look at.
Thanks, Liz. That's great. Now, the next one is Jared from Little Big. To what extent are AI tools used in social content, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, as source material for destination recommendations? And how should destinations rethink social content to improve AI visibility? You get all the easy ones, don't you?
Well, fortunately, probably it sounds like Jared's from a marketing agency. Sounds like a Little Big, so he's probably in the same space as us, always researching and trying to stay up with it. And recently, just very recently, we updated our training materials on social media in the age of AI. And I mean, we talk about social media being great for that verification by the consumer. We understand that they might jump onto your Instagram page and have a look, but there's so much more that's going on. So you may or may not be aware that that Google has done a deeper integration with Instagram, for example, over the last 12 months, so that it can get to a deeper level of data. Now, the AI is not looking at it through the eyes of a human would, but it's looking for other data that can be read by it. So things like, let's take YouTube, for example, and I hope you've all got a branded YouTube channel with your videos up there. But the transcripts and descriptions that you put on your YouTube videos, they're read by AI. And YouTube is it's one of the top 3 sources of returns to the AI summary in Google. Public accounts, Instagram captions and bios are utilized by the AI. So make sure you've made your business Instagram account. You go into the settings, the privacy settings, and make sure that you toggle it so that the search engines can access it. Most people, it's there by default now, but just check that. TikTok text overlays and descriptions are used by AI. Comments, engagement patterns, so how people are engaging. So that's kind of like a trust signal, isn't it? Or, it's of interest to the AI with that engagement. And review style language that could be in social posts. So all these things provide validation and trust signals to the AI, which is really helpful in that discovery and recommendation process. So a takeaway for this, and we used this in this recent workshop, was when you're writing the post, we don't want to just go with, once again, like the website copy, we don't want to just make it sound gorgeous. We want it to also be factual. So give the AI some location information, what the experience type is, who it's good for. Some of those sorts of details in your posts are really helpful. Things like, is it accessible? All of these things in the captions are you might have the beautiful kind of description and it's really motivational. And obviously the imagery and video is really important, but bring in those facts as well into your captions, and make sure that you optimize your YouTube descriptions as well.
Thank you. That's great. Now, this is a good one. Should we be constantly updating our ATDW listing? Will that keep our information fresh across the STOs and DMO listings?
It wouldn't hurt. It would absolutely be better to revisit it regularly rather than wait for the 12-month cycle to come around, because it will get updated on the STO or RTB website, whoever's publishing it. And that is a signal then to the AI agents that there's fresh content there. So you don't want to update it for the sake of it. You want to have something new to tell. But right now, like your Google business profile, going in and reviewing your ATDW listing is important, and make sure it's written in a way that gives some of those facts, balance it out between the motivational copy and the facts. I know you've got all the bits and pieces, all the different fields, but even in the description, just making sure there's something there that allows the AI to distinguish what's different about this business to the other one. What AI is often looking for is points of difference. Like why would I recommend this B&B over that one when it's just down the road? Maybe they include a beautiful local produce breakfast. So that's a point of difference that you would talk about in your ATDW listing and your Google business profile description.
Thanks, Liz. Oh gosh, we had so many questions. It's been a great session, but we'll have to wrap it up now. But I think everyone's got a lot out of it, so thank you very much. If you have any questions about Tourism Tribe, as Liz said, reach out to Liz or the team directly. Liz will be at the Vision Summit next Wednesday, so definitely make time to catch up with Liz. And also, VTIC members receive exclusive discount on Tourism Tribe services. So when you're having chat to Liz, say, and I'm a VTIC member, so that's a plus as well. Thank you, Liz. That was great, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.